What is up, everyone? Sox101 here. Today I am coming at you with some replays. This is actually first or maybe second time I'm doing this, and it's because I found a lot of good games in my replays which I watched, and I thought those were really good battles. I don't think you've seen any of the teams I actually have the battles with. I do plan on doing team analysis videos on both of those teams, maybe just one. One team builder is already up, but that's going to be after this Mama Slash team. So without any further ado, let's get into this. This first battle is me playing against Eberman. His team looks actually pretty threatening, and I do get a bit unfortunate this game. So just talking about my game, my team real quick. This is defensive, well, mixed defense Clefable, a defensive Chestnut, defensive Landorus, Mama Swine, which I do think is great in this tier. That's why I'm using it on my Mama Slash team, because Mama Swine absolutely wrecks in this tier, in this current meta. Life Orb Latios and Quiverdon's Volcarona. So here we go. I did decide to just U-turn out on this Mew, which apparently runs a lot of speed. Good thing he didn't burn me. But Volcarona is Mew is basically setup fodder for Volcarona. So what I decided is actually just to get out of a big hit, because he probably wanted to go into Zoomrill, but he doesn't. He just decides to sack his Mew. That's alright. So here I stay in because he went to Mega Pinsir, and I'm just like, okay, I'm faster and I can kill you with a Fire Blast, but then he crits me with the Quick Attack. I will put the calc on screen because that mattered a lot, because the maximum roll was 97.3. But here we go. I'm just gonna go Stone Edge with Landers because it's the only thing I can do, and then I U-turn out on the Azumarill. I'm going to Chestnut because Chestnut walls Azumarill. It's kind of what it does. Even if it goes for play rough, Chestnut is not too fast. So the thing I can do right here is just go up either Leech Seed or Lyra Spikes, and I do decide that everything on his team is hurt by Leech Seeds, and Deceptus was probably coming in, so that's why I went for it. And I go into Mamoswine. Even though the Heat Wave was pretty obvious, but I decided, you know what, Mamoswine doesn't have any switch-ins. He doesn't have any Mamoswine switch-ins, so probably predicting the Earthquake, predicting me to predict the Azumarill. I go for an Icicle Crash, and here I predict, you know what, you're definitely going into Azumarill, predicting the Ice Shard. So what I want to do is just intimidate that Azumarill, make it less dangerous, and then just pivot out into my Chestnut again. So I double out into Landorus, you turn out, and then I go back into what should be the Chestnut. There we go. So I do go into Chestnut again, as he predicts that nicely, goes for player off. So it's a good thing I did actually pivot it into Landorus first, because otherwise this would have been a clean 2 at KO. I do think this Zoomrill is choice bandit then, because otherwise I do not see it doing that much damage. But maybe it's not, I have no idea. So predicting him to well, I predicted him to predict me to go for Spiky Shield, so I went for a Leech Seed again, getting some chip damage. Here he goes to Pinsir. I go into Landorus as he sets up Sword Stance, gets a bit greedy. That's alright, because I can definitely take one, and then I can go for Stone Edge. Unless I miss Stone Edge. So this Pinsir should have been dead twice already, and it's still breathing, and that is painfully annoying. He's just talking about my past lives, that I probably did horrible things in my past lives, and that's why I did. So I ran a calc, and Mamoswine is able to live it and then take it out with an Ice Shard. He probably ran the exact same calc, so he decides to fodder off his Zapdos. That's alright, I have no reason not to go for Ice Shard again, and he doesn't want to play around with his Azumarill, and so that's not what he does. So here we go, and he goes into Kyurem Black. I have a safe switch in for that, being my Clefable. And he just decides to go for Dragon Claw, which is definitely the safest switch I can ever get. Here he goes into Azu, and I just fire off a Moonblast because Moonblast is my safest play. Michael Fable's running a bit of speed, so I definitely outspeed this Azumarill, as we can see that in the replay. And I watched all these replays again, but I still don't really know what happened. Sometimes. Here I go into Chestnut because Chestnut walls every single extra drill set there has ever been built. If that was a Life Orb extra drill, he might have had a chance to 2-hit KO me. But here I go, Leech Seed. He goes into Kyurem Black, and he's probably feeling very safe being in with his Kyurem Black. It's a Leftovers variant, as we're going to see next turn, which is very odd on Kyurem Black. I mean, I understand Assault Vest, I can understand Life Orb Roost, Choice Scarf even, but Leftovers is not my favorite set ever, because this damage output is not enough. So if he had no lead seed on him, then Fusion Bolt would have been a 2-hit KO on a Clefable. Now it's definitely not a 2-hit KO. But here, I figure, you know what, I don't really need this Clefable. So what I want to do is just go for that, and here I predict my Mamoswine switch, or I predicted some sort of switch, but I just stay in and I go for soft boiled. I do think I could have possibly lifted Fusion Bolt, I have no idea. But him doing that and letting me get off a soft boiled, that's actually really good. Now he goes an extra drill, and I basically have nothing to switch in on this. And here he says GG, but I'm not saying GG at all, because I really should have gone a Mamoswine right there. But I couldn't, because then I would have been in quick attack range, and I didn't want that to happen. So his only chance right here to win is double out into Mega Pinsir, and then just set up an SD from there. I predict that, go into my Latios, and I finish it off with a Draco Meteor. His extra drill cannot kill my Mamoswine nor Latios. So here we go, Latios is going to finish this. No, I decide to be an asshole and switch in Chestnut, and then he's probably Choice Scarf, so I wanted to preserve the 3-0 apparently, so that's kind of what I did, and I wanted him to kill himself because I'm a dick. Me from a week ago is an absolute dick. Keep that in mind. I'm not too bothered. So this is a battle with a different team. What team is this? Oh, okay. So we're gonna go with this one first, because this is obviously a different team, and sorry for messing things up right there, but this is the exact same team, and his team looks pretty threatening. I mean, this turns out to be Zard Y, so he has two things that are quite weak to rock, and he has this Mew, which is probably the most reliable defogger in a tier. One of the most reliable defoggers in a tier. I won't make that statement right there, but as we know, Mew is set up bait for Volcarona, and he decides to taunt me because he doesn't want me to set up first turn. And he basically fodders his Mew already, but here he decides to go into Charizard because Charizard quad resist the Bug Buzz, and I decided to switch up moves and go for Fire Blast because that did more damage, and I was not fearing that Mew. So I go into Latios, predicting this to be Zard Y, and here he goes for Fire Blast, which does almost half. So he has to switch out right here. I predict it's Bisharp, and I decide to go for an Earthquake. And here I feel like, wait, I have Chestnut, so there's no reason for me to stay in, and he predicts that. But if I clicked Earthquake again, his Bisharp would have been dead. But well, I go into Chestnut now because it's kind of what Chestnut does. And this game is all about mind games, because my game plan right here is get up a layer of Spikes or Stealth Rocks so that Breloom Sash is broken, and then set up a Quiver Dance with Volcarona, and after this Talonflame is dead. So what I need to do is keep my Landorus alive to whittle down this Talonflame, and then afterwards I need to get up at least one entry hazard, and I can sweep with Volcarona. So that's what I'm trying to do right here. He Brave Birds me, even a -1 that's almost does 40%, even though I'm defensive. So that's definitely Choice Bandit. So he doesn't have recovery. He more than likely does not have recovery. Here I go into Volcarona on the Mew again, and he decides to switch in Talonflame. I don't want to miss on the Mew. I'm setting it back up, roosting it, giving it a free opportunity to roost. So I just go Bug Buzz right here. Here I switch in Landorus again because it's my check. And here we see that Brave Bird is more than likely not going to kill me, but he ends up critting me, and that is my check. I did click Stone Edge there, and I really wanted that thing dead, but that was not going to happen. So here I go into Clefable, and as soon as he decides to kill me, then that's alright. I decided to go Soft Boil because I just wanted the health back, and I did want him to kill himself. That obviously not what happened. So he goes into Mew, and I do have like a hard counter to that, which is my Volcarona. And here I just decide to set up a Quiver Dance because I sometimes tend to get greedy for no reason. I figure, well, if you switch into Charizard here to take the hit, then Fire Blast into Sun at +1 will definitely take you out from that range. So he goes into Talonflame, and I have not really anything to take down. So I decide to fodder, I pseudo fodder my Clefable. Talonflame is dead, so everything is working out right now. So the only thing I need is one layer of Spikes because my Stealth Rocker is dead, and to break this Breloom Sash because it's probably the Focus Sash variant with with Rock Tomb. So here he reveals Rock Tomb. I go Leech Seed, predicting him to switch out into what possibly is either Mew or Charizard, but here I just decided to go for Leech Seed again. Unfortunately, I miss on the Slowbro, and this Slowbro packs the Fire Blast, but that's alright because Chestnut does not care too much. Slowbro is powerful, but not powerful enough to take out this Chestnut, and I'm 63%, so I can definitely take another one. And here I just proceed to go for a layer of spikes. If I would have done that one turn earlier, it would have been great, but yeah, this Breloom Sash is still intact, and he wants to get rid of that, and because he knows Breloom is kind of his win condition, is kind of the thing that he needs to win. So here I think, well, if you want to stay in your with your Breloom, I can just go for Drain Punch. So that's why I didn't click Leech Seed, even though I should have clicked. Oh, stopped my table right there. Slapped on my table right there. I go for Leech Seed because Leech Seed is kind of what I should do. And I'm going to make this a tiny bit slower because I feel like I'm talking really fast to narrate everything I get. So here I just keep clicking Leech Seed as he did Will-O-Wisp me. Of course, as soon as I make it a bit slower, I'm going to get into a very slow part. So I'm just going to make it a bit faster again. And here he goes into Breloom. I just want to get... I pivot out into Volcarona because I thought, well, let's go game then. And then I figured, no, because I've already seen Rock Tomb and I don't want that to happen, so it goes Rock Tomb. Unfortunately for him, he misses. And here everything is just rinse repeat. And he probably can't win this game, but here I go for spikes. And if I have the balls to double out predicting his Mew, go in a Volcarona, I win the game. But I do not have the balls to do so. Here he goes to Mew. He has to defog. He has to get rid of that spike, because otherwise I will definitely win this game with Volcarona. I go Leech Seed again, and maybe this Mew does not have recovery because it didn't go for it once, and if he wanted to go for it, this was actually the turn he should have gone for it. But he pivots into Slowbro, and as I get a layer of spikes up again, and here I just kind of want to go for the Leech Seed. So Slowbro is going to hit his Fire Blast. He's going to kill me, and that is going to seal the game because this allows me to go into Volcarona, set up a Quiver Dance. He is seeded. I'm a +1 special defense. I do have 96 HP investment, so this Scald is not going to do anything. My spike is up. Nothing on his team wants to take a hit, and all it's going to come down to is whether or not I'm going to land the Fire Blast on his Megazard Y. So we're going to see whether we're going to land this hit, and spoilers, we are going to land this hit on Charizard Y, and that is going to seal the game because Slowbro dies to Bug Buzz, Breloom dies to Bug Buzz, and that is going to be a good game. So last match of the day, let's just reset it, is with another team, and this team is going to be in a team preview next week, and it's going to be with Choice Bandit Victini and SD Crawdons. Also Breloom. I did not get the idea from this guy to run Breloom, but it was the last mon on the team. I really wanted a grass type on this team, so I thought that was going to be really good. Obviously Mega Manectric and a defensive core of defensive Clefable and a Were Clefable. No, Magic Guard, Thunder Wave Clefable with rocks, and then I have utility Mew. So here we go. We're just gonna start. He's going to lead with Gengar, which is not a great lead for me because apparently this Gengar is Will-O-Wisp, and I decide, you know what, I'm sashed, I don't really care too much, I'm just gonna go Rock Tomb and I can 2-hit KO you. But unfortunately he does go for a Wisp on with his Gengar, and that's not going to be great. This team looks everything but standard, but here I kind of predict him to go for a Sludge Wave or a Sludge Bomb, a Sludge Wave probably, but he doubles out into, I'm gonna make it a bit faster because this is annoying. He doubles out into his Hippowdon, and you know what, I don't want hazards on my side of the field, so what I want to do is just go Taunt, and this doesn't allow Starmie to recover, so what I'm going to do is keep clicking Seismic Toss until that's going to work, until I do significant amount of damage. He doesn't end up burning me with any of these Scalds, but burning me actually would have meant the death of his Starmie, because burning me first turn, because I do that much damage with Seismic Toss. I get off one more Seismic Toss, and I do not end up knocking out. So if I got one burn, he would have been dead. But unfortunately, he doesn't burn me. So this is actually one of those situations where you want to get burned, but you don't get burned. And So that's kind of what happened. And so here we go. I'm just gonna go and double out because I kind of predicted that. I have no idea, but I don't know really why I predicted. I do think I predicted hit Powdon, so that's why I went in a Crawdon, making an aggressive play. But here I go into Clefable, I go for the T-Wave. He has nothing on his team that really wants to take a T-Wave, and the Thunderous cannot really take on this guy. So I go into Victini because he's probably going to go for either a Meteor Mash or a Zen Headbutt on this Clefable, and this allows me to get off a free Choice Bandit, V-Create on whatever comes in. Terrakion does not like taking that. So what I'm assuming is that this Terrakion is either Scarf or Bandit, because the majority of them are. But this one actually turns out to not be either of those. He's an Expert Belt variant, I'm thinking, because he goes for Iron Head right here as I get on my Stealth Frogs, which is not great. But here I just have to pivot out into Breloom, basically death foddering it. I want to go Mach Punch right here, and that's actually what I'm going to do. But he predicts that nicely and goes out into Gengar. Maybe I should have clicked Spore right there because Breloom was useless anyway, and Terrakion was not the biggest threat to my team. But I decided to just death fodder this Breloom since it's burned. It doesn't really matter. So here I just go out into Electric, and I just click Full Switch because it feels like my safest play. And he goes in a Powdon, predicting the electric type attack. So, and this gives him free rocks. I do think this gives him free Stealth Rocks. So here I'm just going to switch into Crawdon because you know what? I can possibly go for game right here. He goes into Terrakion, so I'm kind of forced to just go Aqua Jet right here. I don't want him to get off a free hit on anything, and he decides to just death fodder his Mega Metagross because it is paralyzed. It doesn't do anything against my team since it's paralyzed. So here I can just go knock off. Adaptability, boosted knockoff is power. Crawdon is insane. So that thing is dead. I do not want this Crawdon to stay in on a Thunderous. So that's not what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna go in a Electric, which is alright. And he goes for T-Bolt. I decide to go Hidden Power Ice, maybe predicting a Powdon. It's also going to hit this Thunderous reasonably hard. I don't think he can switch in his Starmie because it's like 14%. And that would have died to Stealth Rocks plus Hidden Power Ice. Here he goes in a Powdon, and I kind of figure, you know what, I cannot really prevent you from setting up hazards, so let's just make the best of it. But he goes for Roar. That's alright. I get pushed out into Victini, and I didn't want to risk anything, so I just went for U-turn. Seeing how much U-turn did, the V-Create would have definitely taken him out. But I was very afraid of not taking it out, and maybe Victini would have been useful in late game. I didn't really need Victini in this game, but whatever. And that was a bad play looking back at it, but at this time it did seem like a good play. So I go Will-O-Wisp because nothing on his team really wants to take that. Starmie would die in entry. Hippowdon doesn't like taking residual damage, and Terrakion would be made useless as soon as that would happen. So I go into Clefable, basically sacking it. And here Gengar is going to die to Sand plus Burn. Burn alone would have probably killed it. Would have definitely killed it. And here he goes in a Starmie, basically seeing what I want to do. And I figure, you know what, Crawdon can just clean from here. I'm just gonna go Aqua Jet right here. I can kill the Terrakion with Aqua Jet, and I can kill the Hippowdon with Waterfall more than likely. So that's what's going to happen. I click Waterfall, and this Hippowdon is going to die. I did really fear this Terrakion until I saw what item it had, and we're going to see that now. It does have the Salac Berry, and that would have actually wrecked me. So good thing I kept Crawdon alive, and I can just finish it off with an Aqua Jet. That crit did not matter. I don't care what anyone says. So that was the game. That was the end of this replay thingy. If you want me to do more of these, because I really like these games, I really like these battles, and I need a speed between normal and slow, because slow is too slow and normal makes me talk as fast as I'm doing right now. So I really hope you enjoyed these battles. I definitely enjoyed these battles. These are one of the better ones I've played in the last week, and hopefully you enjoyed these games, and I will see you guys in the next video.